Hi, I'm Andrew Vandever, and I volunteer with CHEA, and I'm also a second generation homeschooler. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about homeschooling philosophy. Have you ever felt unsure if you're doing homeschool right or whether you should even keep doing homeschooling at all? Are you having a hard time deciding what curriculum to use or what communities to make room for in your schedule? Time and time again, for my wife and me, the answers to these questions have come down to knowing why we're doing this thing that most people think is crazy. So, what is a homeschool philosophy? Your philosophy is the why and how behind the way that you educate. It reflects your values, your faith, and your vision for your child. You probably have more than one reason, and if so, that's okay. Make a list. I'm a nerd, so I like to stack rank things, which means I'm putting the things that are most important on the top. You don't have to do that. Just start by writing down the things that are important to you, discuss them as a family, and go from there. Paul applies a principle from Deuteronomy 25:4. It says, "You shall not muzzle an ox when it is treading out the grain." He applies that to missionaries and pastors. And I don't think it would be crazy to apply it to teaching your kids. Early on in our homeschool experience, my wife Jenny and I were balancing the homeschooling part of our life with having recently discovered Dave Ramsey, and we were trying to get out of debt and save for a down payment. And Jenny called me on my lunch break because the curriculum that we'd invested in was not a good fit for her and our daughter. I'll spare you the gory details, but because we both knew that keeping on homeschooling and finding a way to make it a positive experience for both Jenny and Allie were higher priorities than Starbucks or using this particular curriculum, we were able to pretty quickly agree on spending a little to try something different. And that's probably the best $40 we've ever spent. So, how does this matter? Ultimately, your philosophy is going to shape your curriculum choices, your daily rhythms, your long term goals. And on the hardest days, it's what's going to be your anchor to keep you moving forward. Examples of what your philosophy of education might be could be freedom, excellence, being Christ centered, family, excluding bad influences, discipleship, reading, or independence. And you might even have a educational method like classical, Charlotte Mason, traditional, eclectic, or Christ-centered be part of that as well. But the key point is there's no single right approach, but knowing your approach and what's important to you changes everything. I think of some very good friends of ours who prioritize independence a little more highly than we do. And because of that, they've chosen not to participate in a PSP or certain class days, but instead they invest really heavily in community through an eclectic array of extracurriculars. That's not us. Well, we do some extracurriculars, but we are also enrolled in a PSP. And for most of our homeschooling career, we've been involved in some sort of class day. But we love these dear friends and we enjoy the things we do get to do together with them. And I have a ton of respect for them for knowing what they do and don't want and sticking to that. So, how do you actually start clarifying your philosophy? Some good questions to ask yourself are, what do I want education to accomplish in my child's life? What does my faith say about the purpose of learning? How does my child learn best? And what's important in our family identity? What do we want to be traditions that get passed down to our kids and our kids' kids? Your philosophy is the foundation. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to have something to start with that's going to help guide you along the way. I think about the fact that more is caught than taught. Deuteronomy 6 says that we are to teach our children as we sit, rise, walk, you name it. And hopefully your kids should come to know and love what motivates you to homeschool through you talking about it as well as living it out. As a second generation homeschooler, I can attest that probably nothing is more responsible for my own commitment to homeschooling and even to more important things like my love for Christ than conversations that I had with my dad when I was a kid. You really are making a difference in your kids' lives. If you've been blessed by this or other videos from CHEA, I want to invite you to join us at CHEA's Homeschool Essentials Series. We have some upcoming events where you can dive deeper. We have one event in April 23rd in Sacramento and another event in San Jose on April 25th. You can find details and register at cheaofca.org. And also, don't miss our next video. That's going to come out on April 27th. and it's going to be about education versus schooling and understanding the difference. Subscribe wherever you're watching this so that you don't miss it. Thanks.